Yes. Let us go to the B reading of Unit 1, under the title Every Success Story is Also a Story of Great Failures. Failure is the highway to success. Tom Watson Sr. said, if you want to succeed, double your failure rate. Most of us think that those people who have became highly successful in their lives didn't face any problems in their lives. But we have known over the years one particular quotation in English: failure is a stepping stone to success. A very common quote. So we can say failure is the highway to success. Highway means generally very smooth. A great philosopher by name Tom Watson Sr. said like this: if you want to succeed, double your failure rate. What does it mean? If you really want to be successful in your life, you must double your failure rate. Now suppose you failed one time, you have to double that failure rate. Then only you can understand the value of success and you will finally work for success. If you study history, you will find that all stories of success are also stories of great failures. Study history. You will find everywhere that all the stories of success that you find there in the history are also stories of great failures. Means after very many great failures only people became highly successful in their lives. But people don't see failures. Who are the people? People in general. They don't bother about the failures. They don't see the failures. They only see one side of the picture. Means they only see one side of the picture means they only see the success of those people, individuals. And then they say that person got lucky. They start saying that the particular person is very lucky by saying he must have been at the right place at the right time. So this person is very lucky because he must have been at the right place at the right time. Means the time had favored him, so he became highly successful. Very commonly made comment by the people that this person is very lucky. But they don't see how much they had suffered before while achieving the success, while reaching their goal. That's why the author here in this lesson is sharing some of the great successful persons' lives, and then also how many times or how many failures they had in their lives. Let us see. Let me share someone's life history with you. Now the writer of this essay has started sharing someone's life history with us. Let us see who is that man. This was a man who failed in business at the age of 21. Who was defeated in a legislative race at age 22. Legislative race is nothing but a race or contest that he fought to get into an assembly or a state council. That man failed in business at the age of 21. He was defeated in a legislative race at age 22. Failed again in a business at age 24. Again he failed in the business at the age of 24, overcame the death of his sweetheart at age 26. Overcame the death of his sweetheart means he loved a girl and she died unexpectedly at the age of 26. He faced and overcame the death of his sweetheart, the girl that he loved the most, whom he wanted to marry. Then he had a nervous breakdown at age 27. Nervous breakdown, he suffered a very high nervous breakdown when he was 27 years old, lost a congressional race at age 34. Congress is the name of American Parliament. So congressional race, there are two houses in American Parliament. One is House of Representatives, the other one is Senate. So when you contest for House of Representatives, it is called congressional race. Okay? So he fought a congressional race at age 34 and he lost it. Then he lost a senatorial race at age 45. Then he contested for Senate. That is what is called senatorial race. Failed in an effort to become vice president at age 47. Then he contested for the vice president of America's post when he was 47 years old. But he lost a senatorial race at age 49. Again he contested for Senate when he was 49. And he was finally elected the President of the United States at age 52. See, how many times that man failed? Do you want to know who that man is? This man was Abraham Lincoln, a black man, Negro. See how many times he had failed. He could not win even a local legislative race. But he became the President of the United States, all-powerful position on the earth, when he was 52 years old. Incidentally, Abraham Lincoln was the President of the United States between 1861 and 1865. He was the 16th President of the United States. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States. And he was the man who coined the term democracy. Democracy is of the people, by the people, and for the people. He is the man who coined the term democracy. He gave the definition of democracy to the world. Democracy is of the people, by the people, and for the people. And also, he was the man who ended slavery in the United States. He ended slavery in America. Such a great man, Abraham Lincoln, could not win even a local election, but became the President of the United States, occupied the highest position, topmost powerful position in the world, the Presidency of the United States at the age of 52. This man was Abraham Lincoln. Would you call him a failure? Can we call him a failure? Not at all. He could have quit. After failing 1 or 2 or 3 times, he could have quit. He could have stopped, or he could have given up. Quit means give up. He could have quit. He could have given up, but he did not do. He fought, he continued to fight, and failed and finally succeeded. But to Lincoln, defeat was a detour and not a dead end. He could have quit once he failed 2 or 3 times, but he never quit. What did he think? To him, failure, defeat was a detour, not a dead end. What do you mean by detour? Detour means the route that we take when the normal road is closed. For example, you are going to a particular place, the road has come to a dead end. Beyond that, you cannot go. Do we take another route to go to the destination, or do we come back, or do we stay there permanently? So, Abraham Lincoln also never quit, because he knew, he believed that defeat was a stepping stone to success. As a detour, It's not a dead end. You have several ways of approaching your destination. In 1913, Lee De Forest, the inventor of the triodes tube, was charged by the district attorney for using fraudulent means to mislead the public into buying stocks of his company by claiming that he could transmit the human voice across the Atlantic. He was publicly humiliated. Can you imagine where we would be without his invention? So you might have seen, look at the triodes tube there. In the next page, there is a picture there. This triodes tube you can find there inside every major or minor electronic gadget, whether it is TV or radio or computer, whatever it is, you find this. This man, his name is Lee De Forest. He was the inventor of the triodes tube. About triodes tube, it is given there in the notes under glossary. You go through that. You can understand the meaning of triodes tube, and then also you can access the pictures on the internet. He was charged by the district attorney. Attorney means lawyer. He was charged, means this Lee De Forest was charged with a crime by the district lawyer for using fraudulent means. Fraudulent means intended to cheat. The district lawyer charged Lee De Forest for using means of cheating to mislead the public into buying the stocks of his company. He was charged with the crime that he was misleading the public to buy the stocks of his company, claiming that he could transmit the human voice across the Atlantic. Atlantic is one of the deepest oceans, we know that. How can you transmit the human voice across the Atlantic? How did it happen? It happened through telephone, long distance telephony. Telephone, now we can sit here and we can speak to the people there in America or any part of the world using a telephone. Now we have most modern gadget, cell phone. Even while moving on the road or even while moving on a train, anywhere you can make a call to anybody in this world, any corner, to speak to him or her. So, this man claimed that he could transmit the human voice across the Atlantic. He was publicly humiliated. He was arrested and was taken in a procession. Publicly he was insulted, greatly insulted. But can you imagine where we would be without his invention? Just imagine. Without this triodes tube, where we would be today, where our technology would be today. Would there have been a television or any other electronic gadget or a radio or any other electronic gadget without a triodes tube, without the invention of Lee De Forest? Not at all. But see, he was publicly humiliated. See, these many times he had faced such a humiliation, but he was the inventor of the triodes tube. Like that, they did not give up. They continued to work and finally succeeded. A New York Times editorial on December 10, 1903 questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers who were trying to invent a machine heavier than air that would fly. 1 week later, at Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers took their famous flight. This is an invention that changed the course of the world itself. In 1903, on December 10, a New York Times, a very highly circulated newspaper in New York and America, in its editorial, questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers who were trying to invent a machine heavier than air. The editorial commented on the wisdom and the wiseness of these Wright brothers, because they were trying to invent a machine heavier than air which could fly. Of course, heavier than air only that could fly there in the air. They were trying to invent a machine that could fly, but the New York Times editorial passed a comment and questioned the wisdom. What is this nonsense? How can they make a machine with heavier than air that could fly? Just exactly 1 week after this comment from the editorial of the New York Times, at Kitty Hawk, at a place called Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers took their famous flight, and that was nothing other than invention of aeroplane. The two Wright brothers, very popularly known as Wright brothers. There are two, Wilbur Wright Orville Wright. These are known as, popularly known as Wright brothers, the inventors of aeroplane. Earlier, we used to take months together to travel from one country to another country. With the invention of aeroplane in 1903, now we can fly to America in 15 hours, less than a day. Less than a day's time we take to fly to America or any corner of the world. Colonel Sanders, at age 65, with a beat-up car and a $100 check from the Social Security, realized he had to do something. Colonel Sanders, when he was 65 years old, we will come to know who is Colonel Sanders. Wait. With a beat-up car, beat-up means damaged, old and damaged car. With a beat-up car and a $100 check from Social Security. He got a $100 check from Social Security so that he could survive. But he realized he had to do something. Okay, he had got an old car, a damaged car, just a $100 check with him, but he wanted to do something. He remembered his mother's recipe and went out selling. Suddenly he remembered his mother's recipe. Recipe means a way of cooking a food item. Recipe means the way of cooking a food item. His mother had a recipe of making or cooking chicken. So he remembered his mother's recipe and went out selling to each and every house to sell that recipe. How many doors did he have to knock on before he got his first order? You know, children, how many doors did he have to knock on before he got his first order of the recipe? It is estimated that he had knocked on more than 1,000 doors before he got his first order. It is estimated that he had knocked around more than 1,000 houses, doors, before he got his first order of the recipe. How many of us quit after 3 tries, 10 tries, 100 tries, and then we say we tried as hard as we could? See, he had knocked on the doors of 1,000 families, 1,000 houses. But how many of us quit after 3 tries, 10 tries, 100 tries? First we try for some time, next 2 or 3 times we try, or 10 times we try. After that we say we give up. And then we say we tried as hard as we could, but we could not succeed. But this man tried 1,000 times. And who is that man? You understand now? He is none other than the founder of KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken chain of hotels. You remember this, children? Kentucky Fried Chicken. These chicken outlets, these KFC outlets, you can see everywhere in every major town, minor town, even small towns, like our town also it is there. Kentucky Fried Chicken, and he is the founder of Colonel Sanders, the founder of you can see there under the glossary, it is given there already, you just can go through that. Colonel Harlan David Sanders was an American businessman and restaurateur who founded the Kentucky Fried Chicken chain restaurants. Okay? But see, he had to go to each and every house, knocking on every door, asking for the people to buy the recipe. But now what happened? He is the owner of a chain of hotels, one of the biggest chain of hotels in the world. As a young cartoonist, Walt Disney faced many rejections from newspaper editors who said he had no talent. Walt Disney, the moment you hear this name, you come across one particular cartoon figure. What is that? Yes, Mickey Mouse. The creator of Mickey Mouse, Walt Disney. When he was a young cartoonist, when he went to newspaper editors asking, sir, please give me a job, I am a good cartoonist, I can draw cartoons for your newspapers or magazines. But he faced many rejections from the newspaper editors who said he had no talent. The newspaper editor said he had no talent, no need to go, you just go away from here. And he did not get a chance to work in any newspaper under any newspaper editor. One day, a minister at a church hired him to draw some cartoons. Minister at a church is none other than a priest. A minister at a church hired him, means he offered him some money to draw some cartoons. Disney was working out of a small mouse infested shed near the church. Just near the church, there was a mouse infested shed, means there was a shed in which he was asked to work, and that shed was full of mice. Mice is a plural form of mouse. After seeing a small mouse, he was inspired. When he was working there, he saw a small mouse moving from one corner of the shed to the other corner, making a lot of disturbance. Seeing that, he was inspired, and that was the start of Mickey Mouse. See, the young cartoonist who had faced many rejections from the newspaper editors became the topmost cartoonist in the world with the creation of Mickey Mouse. From all these examples, what do you understand? Successful people don't do great things. They only do small things in a great way. You have to understand one thing here. Successful people don't do great things. They have not become great people because they have done great things. They have become great people because they do great things small things in a great way. That's what we need to understand. One day, a partially deaf 4-year-old kid came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. A partially deaf, partially means not completely. A partially deaf 4-year-old kid came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. He came home from the school, there was a note in his pocket, and he handed the note over to his mother. What was written there on the note? Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Get him out of the school. The teacher wrote, dear parent, your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Get him out of the school. His mother read the note and answered. And his mother immediately replied, my Tommy is not stupid to learn. I will teach him myself. What did the mother write there? My Tommy is not stupid to learn. I will teach him myself. And that Tommy grew up to be the great Thomas Edison. Thomas Alva Edison. You remember who is Thomas Alva Edison, children? Who is Thomas Alva Edison? The inventor of electric bulb. That partially deaf 4-year-old kid is none other than Thomas Alva Edison, the inventor of electric bulb. And that Tommy grew up to be the great Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling and he was partially deaf. Remember this. How great people, how they become great, not just because they do great things, but because they do small things in a great way. This is an example. Just he went to school only for 3 months in his life, but he is considered to be the greatest scientist of all the times, since the earth itself took the birth. And not only that, he was partially deaf. He could not hear properly. He was deaf man, partially deaf, not completely. He was not able to hear clearly. Next, Henry Ford forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. You know Henry Ford, owner of the Ford car company, Ford Icon, Ford Pinto, Ford Figo. You might have heard these names of different cars from the same company, Ford car company. Incidentally, Ford car company is the highest producer of racing cars in the world. So, Henry Ford, he forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. That's all. He failed. But now, even today, the Ford car company is there in existence as the highest producer of racing cars in the world. Do you consider these people failures? Children, do you consider these people are failures? They succeeded in spite of problems, not in the absence of them. We have to remember one thing here. These people have succeeded in spite of facing several problems in their lives, several rejections in their lives. Not in the absence of them, not in the absence of failures they succeeded. They succeeded in spite of failures. But to the outside world, it appears as though they just got lucky. But outside world, what do they think? The people comment that, yes, they are lucky people. Can we call them lucky? Can we call them failures? Not at all. All success stories are stories of great failures. That's what we need to understand. Whatever success stories we come across in the history of the world, we can find that all those success stories are stories of great failures first. The only difference is that every time they failed, they bounced back. The only difference is that every time they failed, they bounced back. Just like you throw a rubber ball to the wall, how it bounces back, or you throw the rubber ball to the floor like this, how it bounces back. Like that, they bounced back. Means they came back into their lives with a doubled strength, renewed strength to succeed. This is called failing forward rather than backward. When you fail, generally you lag behind in your life. That's what people naturally think. Normally people think that once we fail, that is the end of the life. But these people show to the world that we should fail forward, not backward. Means we should not just stop or give up our effort just because we have failed a few times. You learn and move forward. From your failures you have to learn and then move forward. Learn from your failure and keep moving. Always learn something from your failure, because every failure teaches you a lesson. And you just keep moving, keep on moving. Even if you fail sometimes, just like when you are a child, when you are trying to walk for the first time, you fall several times. But do you stop walking altogether? If at all you stopped walking altogether, today you might not have been able to walk. So, this is what is called failing forward. The child, what does the child do? It just starts catching hold of something like this and take a few steps and falls down again. Again he gets up, again takes a few steps, falls down. But he doesn't stop walking. That is what we should be thinking about our goals also. In 1914, Thomas Edison, at age 67, hey, నిద్రపోతే ఎంతసేపు చేసిన